refer to it.
Got it. All right. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. I'm Kristina Mon, 2-Star Crown, Superfood Social, Purium. We're so excited. Myself and Rachel Balansat, another 2-Star Crown, to lead this Thursday training with you today. I was going to open it up with achievements, but I think we might have to play it by ear when our achievers are able to pop on. So unless Katie's here, I haven't heard. Are you here, Katie? Okay. So in the meantime, what we can do, because we just wrapped up an amazing September and we should all feel super proud because it was the first month that we didn't all get widen your reach points. And so it was a little bit like, woo, how's this going to go? Some of us have been really counting on those widen your reach to achieve our goals. And here we are, we made it through that first month of adjusting to collecting points from other places. So everybody give yourselves a pat on your back. And some people even ranked up despite that shift. So it's totally doable to focus on UBT as a place for free points and just keep enrolling people and selling more packs and filling our volume that way. So go ahead and drop in the, because we don't have time to shout everybody out, go ahead and drop in the chat if you ranked or if you want to shout someone out on your team who ranked any of the ranks at all. And hopefully we're going to hear from our diamond and colored diamonds who did rank up last month sometime throughout this call. In the meantime, we're going to drop in with our content. Nobody has anybody to shout out in the comments? There we go. Yeah, Isabel. Amazing director run there. We are going to drop into a topic that is so exciting for me because as a leadership team, we have been talking about this for a long time, refining our onboarding system. And if you're brand new and you're not even sure what onboarding means, it's basically how you start your business. And so how we orient you to launch and really set you up for success. So this period of time, right when you get started, is so crucial. It's just like having a little baby or having a newborn animal. If anybody here has imprinted a newborn animal and knows the impact of that you can give so much love into that bonding, into that care right away. If you really like focus your attention and have a concentrated effort right at the beginning, it can save you so much work later on trying to tame an animal or baby. Same thing, right? Bond with your baby and set yourself up for like much better mental health throughout the journey. So that's the same idea with onboarding, which is that if we can really give some concentrated focus to how a brand partner starts, even just their first 10 days, it can make all the difference in their whole career. Difference of whether they stick around, how much success they have, how much fun they have with it, what stories they're telling themselves based on literally what happens in the first 3 days. So we're going to dive into all of that. And this call is going to be, it's going to be multi-layered. So if you're brand new, I'm going to actually take it like the pace of this call, it's going to go slow enough to be able to integrate. But you'll notice that some of this information is going to be going to leaders, and some of it's going to be going to emerging leaders, and some of it's, and actually what I want to say is all the information is going to all of us, but we're each going to hear it a little bit differently based on where we are in our journey. So I'm going to orient you to how to hear this information. If you're a leader, you're really going to be taking really diligent notes. You're going to get like the nuts and the bolts and the nuances and the subtleties of how we can onboard people with greater efficiency, more success, more ease, less overwhelm, and more fun and connection. And if you're an emerging leader or newer, what do you think is, drop in the comments, how are you going to learn this method the best? What's your number one tool for learning this strategy? It's going to be, it's going to be by doing it ourselves, but how are you going to learn how to eventually onboard people? Listening. And what's the one tool, this really crucial tool that we use by being onboarded? It's this one tool that if you aren't using it, thank you, Gleneth, got it. Thank you and Leah as well. Connect calls. So if you're here and you're not yet onboarding people, make sure that you're getting on those calls where your upline is onboarding the people that you're bringing in, and you're taking really good notes and paying attention to how they do this. Because as you've heard me say a lot on these calls, it's all about this transmission. Like, we receive the wisdom and we become the wisdom keeper, and we practice it, and then we pass it on that way. And that's how we create that duplication that leads to residual income, retirement, dreams happening, all that fun stuff, more time. So Gleneth is such a star. So, and if you're brand new or you're newer, and the way that you're going to be taking in this information is something like taking note, like, oh, I didn't really actually catch that when I first started out. I'm going to weave that in now. I didn't quite understand the value of that then. I'm going to weave it in now, either for myself as a practice or to hold that and set that tone for the people that I bring in. So there could be some like little minor course correctings. Maybe you came in and you didn't quite understand the value of widen your reach, and you weren't doing a video a day. And now you're like, oh, you know what? I'm going to start doing a video a day, because now when I bring people in and they see me doing a video a day, it's going to be so much easier for them to embrace doing a video a day, even if you didn't start out that way. And you're going to kind of weave that into your system so that it's easier to just tell people, oh, this is what we do. We do a video a day. No bones about it. That's just what we do, right? It's just our culture. So we can sort of like refine our own personal system as we listen to this information. Okay, who's excited? Drop an 8, my favorite number. All right, getting my notes out here. And by the way, like we just refined this system yesterday as a leadership team, and Rachel and I and any other leaders on here who want to chime in, we're unpacking it here with you. This isn't like it's a work in progress, and we welcome your input. And speak up, ask questions, drop comments in the chat. Like, go ahead right now and just say, everybody just put like what from the onboarding that you've been a part of, that you're witnessing, is really working. Like, let's celebrate what's working. So just drop in the comments the aspects that you're noticing are really working for you and leading to success, and that are duplicating. Vision calls, smart orders, text threads. Yes, text threads. Vision calls and why, connect calls and texts, getting to the why, smart orders. Beautiful. Widen your reach. Yep, you've gotten on that one, Angela. Leaning on the upline, asking questions. Team retreats, yes. In-person events, launch calls. Launch calls has been newer for us. UBT, the power of 3. Yep, the launch calls have been so awesome. Heart connection and why, yes. Such my favorite part of this journey. Duplicating fast start, customer appreciation Zoom. Very cool. I think that's like a Rachel thing that we want to learn more about. Maybe she can talk more about that later. So I'm going to do the first half of the call, and then Rachel's going to step in. So what I'm going to do is kind of go in order. And this is sort of like, a lot of this we're already doing. We're not like it's not a complete system overhaul here. There's just some tweaks, you know, and a little bit more systematized, and we can all get on the same page. Now, I might deliver all this and your upline might tweak it anyway, and that's all good, you know, it's all good. So this is what we as a leadership team crafted yesterday with Leslie Zan on an advanced leadership training with her. And while I'm pulling up my notes, go ahead and just drop in the comments like things that aren't working for you in your onboarding system. And we'll see if all this can get addressed in as we go. So I'm going to actually go back a little bit before onboarding to really make sure that we're all getting on a pre-enrollment call. So this is a connect call that you're doing when you are bringing a new brand partner in. You're getting them on a call with your upline. Now, if you don't have like a very active upline, you know, your upline's retired, etc., or what, for whatever reason, or, you know, your business is jamming and you just can't, you know, get somebody from your upline on a call. It happens. It's all good. That's a good sign that you're in a lot of growth. You're going to form an alliance with somebody who can come in and pop on to tell their 5-minute story. At this point, we're all getting so good at packaging our story, being able to whip it out in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, that you could then have somebody, and now this is more of like a leadership conversation, but have somebody or a group of people that you can say, hey, I've got this call, can you pop on and tell your story? Now, what that's going to do is, even if you don't have an official complete connect call, that new person coming in will get the impression of a third party, of community, the power of storytelling. And that person who pops in to tell their 5-minute story is going to uplift you. So they're going to see that edification, and they're going to just create more of that buy-in into what we have. Because like, oh, look, there's this other person and they're all speaking the same way. So make sure, even if you can, enroll somebody by yourself. And I'm totally guilty of doing it myself. I'm trying to see if my new person that I brought in without a connect call is on here. No, maybe that's why. No, but the point is that it's so much more powerful to use a connect call pre-enrollment to set them up to be able to take full advantage of the 10-day to really set them up for a powerful fast start window. So pre-enrollment call, and you're going to, what I like to do on the pre-enrollment call is go over their why to get them buy-in of why they would even be wanting to do all these things, right? We don't want to tell anybody to do anything if it's not connected to what they want, their goals. So going through the why visualization, and then just planting some seeds about fast start, momentum, you know, maybe widen your reach, some of the things, like not the full, but like an idea, so that when they get started, they understand, like, and it's actually, we're going to pre-qualify, like, are they somebody who's really going to jump in and run with us? So we've done another call where we went over some of the questions to really qualify them as like, all right, are you in? Are you going to be coachable? Are you going to come to our team meetings? Are you going to be somebody that, you know, we can do this together? And if so, I'm right here with you. So that's the pre-enrollment. Now you're going to give them homework. After that pre-enrollment, they're going to go home and write down their why. You already took them through the meditation, so they already went through it, but now they're going to go home and write it. Drop a 2 in the comments if you think that is way easier than getting a new person to do an action plan. I haven't looked in the comments to see what some of the challenges are, but I will. So they go home, they're like pumped. They're like, oh, this is a fun journal assignment. Like, I just got to do my dreams. That is so much more inviting and easier and like pleasurable to me than like, okay, now fill out this thing with all these terms you don't know and all these numbers. Like, how many people do you have just be like, action plan, you know? So to me, and this is, I haven't actually officially gone over this with the whole leadership team, but for me personally, I'm sort of like putting action plan aside until maybe their first full month and just like focusing on that why piece, because we're the ones who are retaining all the details and numbers for them and kind of giving them the reminders. Unless you have that person who's just like on it, they're like type A, they're like, yeah, I want to do the action plan. Obviously you can offer it, but It's not the most important part of onboarding. Okay, so pre-enrollment, homework, write your why. Now they enroll, and now we're on our onboarding call, AKA planning session is what Leslie calls it, which I like. It's kind of like, okay, we're gonna roll up our sleeves, get to work a little bit. We're gonna help you move through these first most important steps, like hold your hand and we're gonna do it together. Okay, so we're gonna review that why that they've already written out. So now they meditate, we did the visualization and they wrote it out, like the why is sealed in. And from the why, we're going to ask them, like, how much do you want to make this happen? You know, how, and now we're going to create buy-in with the fast start of like, how much do you need to be making, right? How much do you need to be making monthly in order to achieve that dream or that vision or that why? And this is going to be the easiest way. And this is where I like to bring in momentum. So the easiest way to create that is just to get going right away. We have our geese taking off into flight analogy, the airplane on the runway, the bicycle, all of those are great analogies for momentum and why it's so much easier and it's more fun. And, you know, as we know, it's more likely for people to stay in the game if they have momentum. And we also know that this business is easier to go fast than it is to go slow. When we're in molasses, that's emotionally very challenging and heavy and harder to get momentum going again. So it's just easier. Let's just get it going and not dip into any of that discouragement. So we have buy-in in the Fast Start program, and we just let them know. First goal, Fast Start consultant, 10 days or less. We just give some of those details. We don't need to get into all the things. We can say, you know, and there's $2,500 in bonuses for the first 4 ranks within a certain period of time. So it's really significant money, and I'm going to help you get that. But let's just focus on the first one. You know, it can be done in 10 days or less. I've seen people do it in a day. Give them the idea that they don't have to wait for 10 days to achieve this, right? So that's Fast Start. And then, and now one of their very first action steps is going to be widen your reach. So we're going to go into, you're going to do a video a day. Just train people, like just upload. I'm going to show you how to upload it. You can even help them create their first widen your reach right there on the first planning session call. How cool is that? I've done that before. I wonder if the person is on this call who I did that with. No, she's in Latvia. We were on a Zoom and I literally videoed her share, and then she uploaded it onto her social media, and that was her first thing. So you could say, you could do that, or you could say, you know what, I'm gonna go to the bathroom for a minute. I'm gonna, you know, mute myself out here. Go ahead and just make your first widen your reach. Just make a little story slide. Hey, I am feeling so excited right now. I just made a big decision. I'm investing in myself. I'm investing in my future. I'm investing in my dreams. And, you know, I feel a mix of emotions, and I'm just really looking forward to see what happens, right? It's sweet, it's short, it's simple, it's creating curiosity. You don't have to name any of it. You're sharing your feelings, you're sharing your heart, you're sharing part of your story. You can go into your why, you know, like I could have on my first one said, you know, we've been really trying to figure out how to hold on to this land and develop it. And I think our solution just came across my path, and I'm really excited to dive in and see what I can do with this. So you could have the person come off that first call with their first widen your reach, recorded and submitted. You can then walk them through the submission process. So this is like, you can play around with that and see if that's something that works for you. And of course, it's going to be up to the person. Somebody might just completely freeze, and that's no good. So we just want to keep the energy moving. But it might be really helpful to them. Maybe you do an interview, a quick interview, whatever you want. You're going to give them scripts for widen your reach and that list that I think Tala made of the different topics people can do. So they see like, okay, now you can start seeing what you want to do each day for that video a day. Yeah, like Angela's saying, it really helps you feel progress and express excitement, like getting into the action, like, oh, okay. Instead, you can turn it into like the most monstrous, monumental, scary thing ever that you never get around to. But if you just jump in and do the first one, it's like, oh, okay, that's done. Where is that list? Right now it's in Superfood Social /partners, which was the onboarding link that we've been sending people. Some of us have sort of phased out of it because it hasn't actually been updated. There's like a couple of inaccuracies in there. And I can't remember what I was asking the leadership team, what did we decide about that? Let me see.
I think what I would say about it real quick
Thank you.
is that it's a wonderful resource that has a lot of really good stuff there. It's got our action planning worksheet. It's got information on the fast start. It's got some key replays of masterminds that will give you really good information. But what we're playing with is redesigning the very first things we have people do, which is what Kristina's going over as an onboarding. But Superfood Social /partners is still an excellent resource. It has a lot of good stuff, including this list of topics, 20 topics that I made for Why Didn't You Reach posts.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. So that is currently where you can find that list of widen your reach, beautiful graphic of widen your reach ideas. Oh, I love that Leslie Zann quote, take action before you feel yourself out of it. Yeah, our feelings can be crazy. So, okay, so that's widen your reach, and we can help them just create that habit once a day. It's just what we do. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to schedule their launch event. Maybe somebody can type the website in the chat there. So type a 1 if you've done a launch event, type a 2 if you're about to do a launch event sometime soon, type a 3 if you haven't, and type a 4 if you want to. So this is something that Leslie brought to us, I think just last month or the month before, and they've been working phenomenally for our team. And this is such a great way to get new people into action and have it feel warm and fuzzy and easy, and maybe, and still, you know, you're still going to have butterflies, but to like have that kind of momentum that's like, oh, this is happening. We've had people bring 10 to 20 people onto these launch calls who are just all getting the download. And this is the launch call. I'm not going to fully go into it because we have other calls, but it's your warm market. It's your friends and family who just want to see you succeed. They love you and they're coming. You're inviting them because they love you and want to see you succeed and support you. Not necessarily because they're going to be the best Purium candidates. And that's why it makes it so fun and easy. It's like, oh, I'm inviting you to like my new shop I'm opening, like come and just support my grand opening. But then they're going to get the download and they might become a customer or a brand partner or refer you or just, you know enough to be able to cheer you on. So you're going to have the new person set your launch call date. It should be about 10 days out. So the people have plenty of time to really put it in their calendar and prioritize it. So, and you're going to teach them, or you as the leader, if you're listening, how to invite to the launch call event, which is very specific languaging. So in a lot of this, we're going to give these specific languages and scripts so people don't have to get off the call wondering like, wait, so what do I do? How do I start a network marketing business? What do I do? They come off of it knowing exactly what to do and feeling empowered and excited to take that action. So there's a specific script for inviting into the launch event. Now, the next thing, they're going to keep working into the event, meaning like they're not just going to send out the invitation to the launch event and then like kick back for 10 days waiting for the launch event, because that was a specific market. That was that warm market. That was like your Auntie Jean, who might not ever do anything, but she's going to cheer you on now because she saw you and she's going to refer that, you know, that other person. But she might, Auntie Jean also might. So now you're going to create the next step after you've set the launch date and given instructions on how to invite. So as you can see, this is like, we're taking action in this. We're planning, but we're also like getting stuff done. So they're going to come out of this call like super empowered. The next thing is we're going to create a strategic list of 30 people. We're going to help them sit down. They might not come up with the whole 30 names on this call, but we're going to set the tone of who are the coolest people you know? Like, who are the people that you want to follow? Who are the people you trust? Who's fun? Who would you want to work with? Who's already an entrepreneur? Who's already taking responsibility for the outcome of the success of their life? Who's, you know, like not in victim mode? Who's a badass? Who's, you know, put your favorite brand partner adjectives in the comments here. Who's got a big why? Who's really looking to create change for themselves, for their families, for the planet? Who's hungry? Getting to that, Daniela, we are going to do that. So we're going to help them at least start their list, and then we're going to, you know, give them that language. Like, okay, great. Let's take one of these people or a couple. You know, the better you get at this, the easier it'll be to even do like 3 people. Okay, tell me who this person is. How do you know them? Do they follow you on social media? When was the last time you were in touch? You get a little information. Why did you think of them? You get a little information about this person, and now you can tell the person exactly how to reach out to them. And then it's not just like so confusing, or, you know, then they're like, oh yeah, I could do that. And now they can go and they could work that strategic list of 30 right away. So this is working into the launch event. You're still doing things. You're still asking to get consent to send videos, to invite to live guest calls, things like that. Yeah, self-directed. I love self-directed people. Okay, so, I have the sharpest, most amazing, successful, attractor, influencer, big networks, social media skills, following, who do you admire? Okay, so now the next thing you're going to tell them is, the faster you can get me on a connect call with people on this list, the shorter I'm going to condense your training period and your success. So connect calls are the absolute top best way to learn, to get people enrolled, to launch your business, to have success. If you can help your person enroll somebody within the first 3 days, they are like infinitely more likely to have success with this. So giving them these tools, this language, this encouragement, this culture, this is just what we do. We just start reaching out to people right away. Here's the script, you got this. The more likely that they're going to have. So really saying, like, who's coming to mind? Who do you think is looking for this as a customer or a brand partner, and is ready to sign up? So really encouraging them to do like 5 to 10, 50, says here in the notes, 5 to 10 connect calls in the first 5 days. You're excited, and here's like a specific reason, and then I'm going to pass it off to Rachel after this. I'm talking now to my new brand partner. You're excited. You have the network. I know how to talk about Purium. You don't know how to talk about Purium yet. You don't necessarily have to say that if it makes them feel weird, but just letting them know, like, that's why we're doing connect calls. We're merging our 2 skill sets together. You've got the people, you're excited, you have this fresh network, and I know how to talk about it because I've been talking about it a lot. So let's come together and let's, you know, make some amazing things happen. Let's put us together and we're going to have a lot of fun. Those are Leslie's words. And so, yeah, that power of the first 3 days, and the odds of retention are greater if we win in the first 3 days. Okay, so the next part I have here, Rachel, is doing that connect call that, you know, with mom or best friend on the first day of enrollment. And I'm going to pass it over to you for that. Does that sound like a good place to transition?
Great. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I want to just say that you did a great job, and I outlined what Kristina was saying in the comments, but what I will do is I'm going to send this whole outline to Stephanie so that she can put it into the comments. I'll text it to her in case she's able to do that. So that way you guys have like a clear outline what we're following here. All right, so this is new. I don't know that anyone, we have never practiced this on our team. This is new from Leslie's Inn, and it's wonderful. And so we're gonna start practicing this with each other, okay? And so this is the script for the Connect call that Kristina was just describing, right? So this can happen. So let's say that your person just enrolled. We're going over these items. So I'm just gonna kind of review a little bit here. So we're in this planning session, right? Where it's like an onboarding session. Basically, your planning session is their onboarding. I broke it. This is step 2 is planning session, and I broke it down into letters. A, fast start intro. How much do you want to make? B, here's how you do it. Your consultant in the first 10 days, widen your reach is one way. Schedule a launch event is another way. And then connect calls, just bring me on to 5 to connect call 5 to 10 in the first 5 days. And then we're going to even do a connect call while we're all doing this. Like while we're showing them how to do a connect call, we're going to ask them to do a connect call in the moment so that they get to experience what that actually is like with someone who's safe, that they trust, that they know will support them. Okay, so here's the script. All right, so hey, so I'm going to say, let's say Lou is the person who is brand new, and I'm saying, hey Lou, so who's your best friend, Lou? Who is your best friend in the whole world? And she might say a person, or she might say my mom, right? She might say my mom's my best friend. Okay, great. We're going to call your mom. Let's have a call with your mom. Just send your mom a quick text and say, hey mom, I just started a business, and I'm practicing, I'm in training. I'm wondering if you're free for 5 minutes, just a brief call so I can just do a little training. I can practice something. And she said, just a quick call. She says, okay, hopefully she'll say okay, or maybe she'll say I'm free in 20 minutes. Maybe we'll still be on the call and you can call her. So we're going to practice doing your first connect call like that. And this is the script. So, hey mom, I just started a business. I'm really excited about it. And I'm working with Rachel, who's my new mentor. She asked me to do one thing today that was to introduce my best friend, and guess what? You're it. So are you free for a 5-minute call to help me start my training? And so, we'll read the script. We'll read the script to Lou so she can kind of get the tone and rhythm, right? So you don't have to go into the whole thing. You don't have to explain everything. And I'm going to then get on the call, right? Sorry, I'm adding this to my notes. So she's going to bring us onto the call together, and I'm going to talk to her mom. I'm going to say, or her best friend, and say, hey, how long have you two known each other? I'm going to start talking to her. She's going to say, hey mom, this is Rachel's mom. She's going to do her best to edify us. She probably is going to know exactly what to say, but she'll do her best to edify both people, right? So I'll say, how long have you known each other? I don't know if Lou's told you about her new Purium business. Yeah, oh, great. Well, we're doing a launch event on such and such a date because we just created it. And you're the first one we're inviting. So put it on your calendar, and, and so it's like that. So we're the call is just very simple, but it's just like, hey, I'm Rachel. I'm not going to look at my notes for this, but I'm Rachel. I'm Lou's mentor. I'm loving working with her. She's so great. And, just would love to, want to just have you support, she's really, starting her business, and we want to support her in starting her business launch. So, referrals will be great, and bring her and anyone you can think of to bring to her launch event will be great. And if you come to this launch event, we would love to have you there. It would be a great way to support her. And that's it. All right. So, it's basically like, hey, do you have 5 minutes? And just like, we're just introducing each other to each other. Okay, so this is just really not about a sell. We're not selling product. We're just connecting her so she can get the feel of what it's like to introduce somebody to the community, and the community gets to just be honest. We're like loving you up. We're just helping her launch, etc. So after this call, we're still in the planning process. We're still in this onboarding. we're going to return to the fast start goal setting, and we're going to let her know, hey, you know, so our goal is to get you to director by the end of this month, right? Or the end of the month, whatever month it is. And so this launch event is part of helping you get to director. So hopefully we're going to, you know, do our best to get you to consultant in the first 10 days before your launch event, and then your launch event will get you to director. Now, I'm just going to let you guys know that some people on my team have been doing their launch event within their first 5 days. And we give them a script, and you guys got the script last week or the week before. And we literally just give them a script to send to all their friends and ask them for their support. Would you mind supporting me? I'm launching my business, and sending that out to 20 to 30 people. Right here, we're saying 30, we're using 30. This is a great place where you can ask them to download the action plan and just write down their first 30. Okay, this is a great way to get them motivated to actually print out their action plan and put down 30 names, because we're going to work from that list. So getting to director by the end of the month is the goal. We're going to, you know, go over your story and work on attracting people and setting the pace. And we're going to find your first 2 brand partners, maybe your first customer, 2 brand partners, or first 2 customers and brand partner, ideally before this launch, and then they can even come to the launch, and then they can even bring people to the launch. Okay, so there. Now, the other thing that we're going to go over, this is E. E is the UBT. So these are the training points. So the UBT, if you're new, you may not know, but if you enroll 3 people within that first week, within a week between Saturday and Friday, you get an additional 500 points. If you use one of the if you enroll somebody with a qualifying pack as a customer or a brand partner, any 3 people, you get an additional 500 points. Plus the packs, the ULT is 220 points. That's 660 points. So if you add those together, 660 points for 3 packs, or 990 points if you sell 3 ultimate lifestyle plus performance packs, right? And then you add the 500. Now you're looking at anywhere between 1,200 and 1,500 points. Okay, so that's the difference, is if you do 3 in a week, you get the UBT, which stands for Ultimate Business Transformation. So if any of you have been kind of like on the doldrums and you've kind of been, you know, not active for a while, you want to recharge your business, the UBT is, if you really just go, if you've never hit UBT before, I really recommend deciding to do it for the first time right now. And see if you can enroll 3 people in 1 week and do everything within your power to make that happen. That's why the launch events are great, because often people will enroll 3 or more people in 1 week and get that UBT. Lou, did you do it?
So I have 4 customers and 1 brand partner from my launch. However, for some reason, nobody has actually purchased anything through the links that I've sent. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on there. So I need to follow up. But
okay. So here's a little thing that I'll suggest. When we're enrolling people, we do not just send them a link. We do it on a Zoom together to make sure that when you're ready to enroll, I'm going to walk you through enrollment. That way it's scheduled. They're not backing out of it. They're doing it, and you are showing them how to do it with their smart order. Okay, you're much more likely to enroll somebody if you're actually on a call with them. All right, Nova's offering her support there. So that's key, is actually scheduling the time to order. I always tell them, tell me when you're ready to order and let's do this together, especially when they're new, especially somebody who's brand new, who's launching. We want to make sure that everything goes smoothly. You want to make sure that they have a connect call for the actual enrollment. All right. So UBT, Rhythm of 3 bonus. The Rhythm of 3, you're going to hear it over and over and over again. I actually finally learned it because Stephanie kept saying it, even though she was hearing it from corporate. I'm like, the Rhythm of 3 is so powerful because we do everything in the Rhythm of 3. We have 3-way connect calls. We have the 3 UBT. All right. And so, and then we also have the funnel, which is the Rhythm of 3, Inspire, Inform, Invite. And so I'm going to briefly just break that down really quick. This is really important. how people are going to get people interested, because people are like, how do I get them interested, right? So we have widen your reach. That's a story. Okay, when you go live, that's you sharing your story. Your story is why you're doing this. Why am I doing this? Why did I join this company? Why did I join this business? Maybe I've heard a lot of really amazing stories. Maybe I already know about superfoods. I believe in superfoods. Maybe I've found something that aligns with my purpose and my passion that I can make money at. Maybe I'm just somebody who needs to pay the bills and I just need an extra $500 a month. And this is the first thing that showed itself that seemed possible. You know, we all have different whys. And maybe I've had an incredible transformation, or I know someone who's had an incredible transformation. So get clear with your why, and then that is your story. So step one is inspire with a story. This is the funnel. Inspire with a story. Okay, first. Then you inform them with a link. What happens if you inform them with a link before they've heard a story? If you send them you're like, hey, check out my superfoods company. Here's my thing, buy this thing. Yeah, it's spammy. It feels like spam. There's not really a connection, right? There's no value built yet. We have to build a value. And the most powerful way to build the value of the products and the business opportunity is by sharing a story, which is going to be why your launch events can be so powerful, because they're going to hear your story. They're going to hear your upline story. They're going to hear your why. They're going to be exposed to all this. They're going to have the three things happen on their launch. They're going to be inspired with a story, step one. Step two, they're going to be informed with a link, right? So the link is the event actually, but we can send the link to superfood.social, right? That's our website. That is just the most easy thing to send. Yes, we have all these wonderful videos on apps. You're welcome to send those. We've got tons of blogs. You can send those. We got tons of YouTube videos, we have endless resources. But we are so blessed that we're on this team because we have Superfood Social, which has all of them together in one cozy place. So simple and so easy to share the value. If you want to give them something specific, I recommend sending them something specific from the website. Rita has this incredible video that has all the different, just the breakdown of the products. That you could just send them that link of the website, the transformation page. I think it's the support page, or it's the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation lifestyle page. You can just send them that link. You can send them to a link to a specific place on the website. I personally like sending the website and then telling them which link to go to, because I want them to see it all. Rather than sending them a specific link, I say, go here and look at this particular page. That way, it's like you put a magazine down in front of them, and you're like, hey, look at page 12. Well, they're going to look at page 1 through 6 before they get to 12, right? They're going to look at page 1 through 11. So inform them with a link and then invite them to, I like to say, invite them to meet the community. Now, that could be invite them to an event, your launch event. That could be inviting them to a holistic wealth opportunity event, which we do via Zoom a lot. You could be inviting them to a connect call to meet your upline, to meet or around the horn meeting side team. You could be inviting them to your community. Okay, so you're inviting them to meet the community. All right. Now, of course, a lot of things happened on those community events. We have all kinds of information. We've got stories. We're going to share the value. We're going to tell them the cost. Everything happens on the connect call. And then a launch event is basically a massive connect call with your upline. It's basically a call that has, however many people end up coming to your event, but you've invited. Now, remember that inviting is the most important part. It's not even about whether or not they show up at the event, because you can send them the replay. But once you've invited them, now they know what you do. You've broken the ice. You've given yourself an opportunity to share with them what you're doing, and you've started a conversation. Okay, so you've begun this rapport with them. So with that said, are there any questions about this? And then I'm going to have Jilly share a story. Any questions about this so far? Is there any part that's unclear to you, or any part that you love?
I have a question. I'm curious, do we ever walk people through how to go to their back office? Is that ever part of the onboarding process?
I personally would save that for the third call. I do not want them to get overloaded with information. What I usually do is, once they have points and once they've enrolled somebody, then I take them and I say, let's look in your back office for a minute. Because then it's exciting. They go there and they go, oh, there's my friend Catherine. Oh, look, her points. Oh, look at my points just jumped up. Oh, And so that's exciting. There's something to look at. So I usually wait that. I usually save the back office for a third call. Okay, we want to give them in bite-sized pieces, bite-sized pizza. All right. Okay, any other thoughts or questions?
So you said something earlier about the connect calls, or maybe it was Kristina, excuse me, I jumped in late.
It's okay.
About I have a tendency to oversell, overtalk, over-explain. So if you could offer a really good example of like, I am having a very hard time bringing in a brand partner and getting people to commit to a connect call, just a simple connect call. And either you or Kristina said that something that resonated, that maybe don't talk so much. I think maybe I might be over talking. So if you have any advice on that.
This is really great because connect calls, I always, whenever people are having trouble with enrollments, I always say, where's the crack in your funnel? Where's the crack? And the number one place people struggle is connect calls. Getting somebody onto a connect calls is the hardest first thing to learn. And it's understandable, okay? So the first thing is, I don't tell people, hey, can I get you on a connect call with my upline? What's wrong with that if I say, can I get you on a connect call with my upline? What is that going to feel like or sound like to the other person?
They don't know what a connect call is.
What's a connect call? What's an upline?
Yeah, that's business jargon. We don't want to bring in our business jargon.
It's business jargon. The other problem with that is that people often don't want to meet another person. And you're saying, they're telling you their personal health issues, and then you're saying, let's meet with this other person. They're like, there's two things that go through a person's head. One, I have to be vulnerable to another person. I don't even know this person. I don't want to share this. Number two, oh, I don't want to be upsold. This is obviously a sale. Okay. So there's a few different approaches that I've noticed work with my team. I'll tell you the way I learned it, and I'll tell you another way that I think the next generation is bringing in our next generation of technology with texting. Okay. So actually, I'll start with that. Like, one thing you could do is, say, oh, I'd love to connect you with, my friend Stephanie. I'd love to connect you with my friend Stephanie. So she can help you with this. And you can say, like, may I send a three-way text so you can meet her. And then you start a three-way text, and then Stephanie says, and then I say, oh, hey, sorry, I forgot who was the upline. So I love to connect with my friend Stephanie. So Stephanie's upline. So then Stephanie's going to jump in there and go, oh, hi, Isabel. Yeah, thanks for connecting us, Neely. Isabel would love to chat with you and, answer any questions and support you in getting started. When are you free? So now she's initiated it. Your friend's going to give their time and when they're available. And now you're going to start a call. That's one way that works, that we do it a lot on our team, is one way. The way I learned, and the way I still do it to this day, is once I just schedule the call. I don't make it a connect call. I schedule the call. I ask Sarah, are you going to be free? Because Sarah's my upline. Will you be free at 5 o'clock on Friday? Or when will you be free? And so I schedule it when I know she's free. When I have the person on the call, I talk to them a little bit, and then I start edifying my upline. I start saying, oh yeah, my friend Sarah, she's really cool. She's such a great story. I'd love for you to meet her and actually hear her story. And I tell them that. And I say, and then they say something, and then I say, I told her I was going to be talking with you. And I know that she's free right now. She said she's going to be free at this time. So why don't I just give her a quick ring, and we'll add her in, and she can just share with you really quickly her experience. And I'm saying friend, because she is my friend. This is true. And I'm just saying so she can share her story with you loud. She can share an experience with you. Okay. And then once I get them on the call together, I just mute myself. I don't say I'm going to mute myself. I just introduce them, and I just gradually kind of fade into the background. And then they forget about me. They don't even notice that I'm not talking on the call. And that way it's not weird. And then they're just talking, and then pretty soon they're having their own rapport. And then suddenly it's gone from like sharing her story to like asking her questions. And then next thing you know, the person's enrolling. So does that help? what's different in what I said than what you're doing? What feels different?
So yes, it was helpful. And I will say, my upline is my dear friend, Leah. And she's
I love
super
Leah.
strong with me about the connect calls. And then I go and try to schedule it. And that's where I think my over talking comes in, because she's been really great about the 3-way text, like you mentioned in the beginning. She was, we've tried that a couple of times. I asked in the chat, I don't know if you saw it. Now, when you were giving me that second example, you say sometimes you'll just be like, hey, can you talk to my friend so-and-so? Yes, I'll say Leah. Can you talk to Leah at 5 o'clock? And then I'm texting Leah simultaneously saying, hey, can you get on the call? Like, even if it's like a first time call. And
I don't say anything about Leah. I just say, are you free to talk to me?
Are you free to talk?
Like, hey, let's chat. Like I'm just assuming this is probably someone, hey, Genevieve, let's chat. Are you free? Really? Are you free? When are you free? And then I go,
right.
Leah, are you free at this time?
Okay.
And then Leah's yeah. And I go, okay, cool. And then I go back to Genevieve. I go, actually that time works for me. Friday at 6 o'clock.
Right. Okay. Yes. Very helpful. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. That was awesome. Thank you.
Okay, good. Anyone else have an aha moment with this? All right. So
with that, so when do you say then, like, during the conversation with Genevieve, you say like, hey, can Leah join us during this conversation?
I never ask. This is a really good question. I never ask. I just say, my friend Sarah, I've been telling her, I told her I was gonna be on a call with you, and I would love for you to hear her story. And she actually knows, she actually said she'll be free around this time. So why don't I just call her and I'll just add her in and you can meet her. I say, why don't I? I'll just add her in and you can meet her really quick. And then they go, hey, I've been doing this for years and nobody's ever said no to me to that. Yeah. Unless they're in a rush, like, oh, I have to jump off the phone. But like, no one's ever said no to that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, cool. I wanted to ask, so one of the people who does this the most with me is Nova. She's really like the text queen and she always introduces me through text. Nova, are you free for a second to just share, like, how do you introduce us on text? Like, what is your preliminary conversation? How do you move it into that?
That's a great question. Thank you, Rachel. I super appreciate your support with this because I used to really struggle with getting friends on a connect call. And I agree, it's all about the way that you phrase it and holding the highest in mind. Like I was just talking with a brand partner about this the other day, and they were, really concerned, which makes sense, around consent, wanting everything to feel really consensual. And when what we're really doing, I feel like what our job is to do is hold the highest in mind. They came to us and told us that they want support. So if we take that initiative and move them through the support instead of, every 5 seconds, like, are you sure you want this kind of support? Are you ready for the next step of support? Like there's a certain amount of checking in, and there's also a certain amount of taking the fact that they came to you and trust you to lead them through this process. And doing that with confidence is, I would say, the most important thing. Knowing that what we have is so incredible, it changes people's lives, and having that confidence and that clarity when you're communicating with your people is the first thing. If you feel like you're trying to convince people, you're trying to kind of wiggle room your way around, they're going to pick up on that energy. And everything is about energy and frequency with this business, and really holding that that clarity. So that's exactly what I do, Rachel. I just tell them, hey, I would love to introduce you to my friend Rachel. Like, for instance, Lake had a great question about this morning. Somebody was coming to her and saying, needing help with health. And they were saying, well, what do you recommend? And we were talking together about how to respond to that. And how I like to respond when people come asking questions or they're open, I say it's different for every person. Or if they ask about the price, I say the same thing. It's different for every person based on what their needs are. I would love to connect you with my friend Rachel. She's helped a ton of people with this, and I know you two would really get on. How about I put us all together in a 3-way text? And they're always like, yeah, great. And so then we get in the 3-way text and I introduce each person and edify each person. and really let Rachel, take the space from there. So the faster, Rachel and Stephanie really, helped me get this, is that the faster you connect them with your upline, the better. And just get out of the way. Stop trying to explain, stop trying to convince, just lead with your excitement and with the fact that this is going to be the fastest, most effective way to help them and connect them in, whether it's a text or whether it's a call. Just find the easiest way in and just help them get the results that they're coming to you for.
Inner posture. Thank you, Nova. It's all about inner posture. Appreciate that. So we're going to close out the call now with Jilly. And we have 1 minute, but so we might go a couple minutes over if you have to jump off. I understand, everybody, but this is really great. So Jilly, as many of you know, got to Black Diamond in 5 months. I mean, she just went streaming through the pay plan. And she was the perfect example of, we followed this entire system to a T. This is literally the system we followed. She even did the launch events. We didn't call them launch events then because we didn't really have a word for it. But she was doing this with her team and duplicated this to her team. So anyway, I just wanted to hear from you, Jilly. Tell us a little bit about your experience with this onboarding process and how that worked for you.
Hi, everybody. This is so great. I drop a 1 if this is kind of landing with you. It's really, really helping me even. And I've been in the business since January. So the more you hear it, the better it is. Now, going back to my January launch, I didn't know what to do. I had a great transformation, but I had no idea how to do this business. So I was so coachable. And that's what it came down to. I listened to what Rachel said and I executed. Anything she said, I went, okay, I'll do this. This is really uncomfortable. This is not something I really want to do. I remember my first live, shaking in my boots. I remember being authentic in my story on my live. I remember doing my first Connect call. I remember sitting through my first Connect call, interrupting her because I felt like it was weird because I wasn't in the conversation. And she's texting me going, stop talking. So really trust your upline, trust the process. And Kristina Armand, she did a training call a couple months back. And I remember listening to this, and I don't even remember where I was in my journey, but she said, when you start this business, you are at the bottom of the Grand Canyon and you're looking up and it's supposed to be so beautiful. And everybody's like, it's so beautiful. And you're looking and you're going, all I see is trees and rocks and this really steep cliff. I gotta, it's a mountain. I gotta climb that. And then she's like, yeah, but we're gonna do it together. And we link arms and you're blindfolded. I get it. You can't see, but watch. Walk over this rock with me. There's a rock right here. Turn left here, turn right here, whatever it is. And that is what I did with Rachel. I just went in blindfolded, trust your upline, trust the system, and really just tap into it because it's super effective when you do it. So that's that.
Thank you so much. And I just asked Lou to post the notes that I sent her, and she just posted the onboarding outline. So it's in the chat. Copy and paste this onboarding outline into your notes. It's about as clear as I could get. I hope that's helpful. Let's see. One thing that's missing from that somehow, I wonder why. It might not have been, maybe the chat is limited in numbers, but the E is not in there. From E on is not in there. If you could try to copy paste the last part of the notes, that would be great. So thank you everyone for being here. I hope this was great. If you could just post your takeaways in the chat. Actually don't, because Lou's gonna post the rest of it here. I know she's trying. But yeah, would love to, if you guys have questions, maybe just jump off mute or any last thoughts, and we'll be just done in a minute.
Hi, has anyone live streamed their launch event, which I think would be super cool? Any experience with that?
We have. Lake did a launch event and Nova did a launch event that they live streamed, but they live streamed it into their Facebook event page. They created an event page and live streamed it into the event page. And there were quite a few people who attended. They had about 6 people each who were there through the entire time. I think Nova got a couple of brand partners out of there. Lou got a couple of people interested out of there. Sorry, not Lou, Lake. So those are the only 2 that I know of. I did do a kind of a live event streamed onto my Facebook page once, and there were about 6 of us on the panel, and everybody just posted it to their pages. And I know I got like at least one sign up from that. Yeah.
I'm not sure if this question was already asked, but this question came up for me just a while ago, and I kind of already know the answer to it, but I feel like other people might have this question. But like, when do you think people are ready to have their own connect calls?
I usually say after you've brought 30 connect calls to your upline, then you're ready.
30.
Mm-hmm. There's no real like a solid answer, but I just feel, Stephanie says 20. All right. So you just need to have enough that you actually understand you can troubleshoot anything. Like you want to be able to like troubleshoot any question that comes to you. They go, what is this, a pyramid scheme? You want to know how to answer that, right? Anything that could come your way, that could throw you off guard, you want to feel comfortable and confident. But at the same time, like if you understand the basics of a connect call, there's no reason why you can't do them anyway. If you're like upline's busy, like you own your own business, and if you need to do it, do it. If there's like your upline's on vacation or whatever, jump in and do it. I always say that. Okay. Just be your own upline if you don't have one. And just, there's always a way. So we just like to duplicate the concept of connect calls and for people to experience having them. Okay. All right. There you go. And I think Lou put in the chat the rest of it. So everybody grab the rest of the notes out of the chat. And
Hey, Rach, I just wanted to chime in for just 1 minute. If you
Sure.
ever want to lead with the Million Mom Movement, Bliss Ohana, you can certainly bring me in for a little pop call, okay? And I'll be saying a lot more about that next Thursday, all right? Can't wait to be with you all.
next Thursday, Stephanie is leading. She's going to be talking about the Million Mom Movement. She's got some great things for you guys that is going to really make a difference in your business. So please definitely be here next week. Bring your team. Love you all. Thank you. Have a great day. And thanks for just being here.
Thank you so much.
Yay.
Bye, everyone.